So while they were phasing in and out, the idea was, oh, sorry for my stupid looking headband, still a little cold, and so it was a memory grid, or a memory sieve. I think I spelled that backwards. Yeah, and so then the idea is, this is so displeasing. I'm just making up that extra part for an algorithmic interface. And so then your mind goes in, memories come out this way. What happened is they kind of bifurcated. This is because of different phasing in and out of polarity, where the memories that were resulted in good memories, bad memories, traumatic memory, edited out, good memories left. Because of the phasing polarity problem, we had one Earth, everybody has only trauma memories. One Earth where there was no trauma memories. Like a galactic Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, menage a trois. Then the other aspect of this, the completion, is that through a system, the memories are consolidated, but we're not going back, we're going forward in a way. And the suffering is removed. It stays in the underworld, if you will. That's like the dirt, that is the soil, that the truth, compassion, the self-awareness, okay, comes from and stays. So they found a process to recombine the fallen and the living by extracting the aspects of the living that basically got sucked into, or, oh my gosh, stuck in the, what's it called? Keep your head up. And so on. So the dirt, the suffering becomes the dirt that then is used to, it's a substrate that self-awareness, compassion goes through. Self-awareness comes through, and then that's the contrast between compassion and ignorance. And with your self-knowledge and all that, and it's like tied together. That it's not perfect, that you either have knowledge or you don't, but it's all together makes self-awareness and compassion and truth, and then one after the other gone, you get into darkness, which is ultimately just suffering. And so then the system was designed, basically, the process to reconcile the differences between two aspects of the mind, basically to heal the trauma. Okay, this is a new process. I need a new board right over there. I'm not going to pick it up. My arm's hurting. So it's to heal the process, or to heal the trauma, but to not lose the memory, because we want the memory for self-identity. And so then we don't want the suffering, which is tied in. So it was a way, the phaser system had to be activated, and all this was going on to the point where they could put, it was a sorting process, and it was almost as if ions that were charged in a different way, or were part of a different material energetic universe, got trapped in the minds of people and in each different universe. So these were like thoughts or memories or ideas or aspects of personality or personas or bloodlines, however you want to look at it. Everything, but not bloodlines, because we all, it's confusing. We'll get to that. And so the system had to be quantum superimposed so that it was basically energy, and at that point they could separate and come back together. Without that, it was like trying to rip individual threads that are pieces of their soul fabric out of fabric that is cloth, that is the soul, collective soul of humanity. And that was impossible with this amount of advancement we have. They're human-operated systems, or human sleeved AIs, if you will. I mean, billions of data points, at once being processed in order to do that, and not have your mind collapse in on itself like a fractal that lacks that regenerative ability. It's a fractal code. And so that was what happened, though. And so then part of the fallen is the fact that past a certain point, it can't be removed without fracturing the whole. And so then that fallen, broken, fractured state is kind of permanent. And in that sense, once there's a point, it's not about suffering or anything. It's a freezing, because then that complexity It's in like the fallen system, the complexity. It lacks complexity to move on to the other systems, so it means it's frozen in time. And it's as if the rest of the universe goes on and it stays kind of out of phase, and 10 trillion billion eons later, when the universe comes back around into phase, it's all back there again, but for them it's the exact same thing every time. That's what we didn't want. We want to avoid, and we want to avoid with the population. But the idea is, from that memory interface sieve system, which was, anyway, it was a way, the answer was to take what was good, not lose your identity or memory through that, and to find a way to reduce the suffering, which means you have to change your perspective of the events. It's like growing tougher spiritual skin, but that's not, I really can't describe it any, fully in that depth. That's what went on.